Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in this week. I'm building a desk drawer for the Holly desk. It's a project I built and put the video on last week. Right now I'm just milling up some sycamore, and these are going to be the drawer sides. And I've got a little red oak here. That's going to be the front and the back. I'm just getting some rough measurements here, making sure that I'll have enough with these pieces here. This drawer was based on a drawer from an old desk that I've had that dimensionally was a great size drawer. It was just a little too shallow, so I'm going to make this drawer a little bit deeper. I'm using the Rockler Dovetail jig here. This is the first time I've used it on a project. I've done a couple test pieces and I really liked how simple it made making the half-blind dovetails for drawers. So right now I'm just setting up the stops, and I went ahead and I made a couple pieces, test pieces, so that I can make sure I have everything aligned properly. And I recommend doing that if you're going to do any piece, or if you're working on anything and you're going to do your finished dovetails with some nicer wood. Right now I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the finished cuts on the sycamore and the oak. The dovetail jig came with the router bits that you need, the collets for the router. It's a really great setup. Now, this was given to me, and it seemed pretty intimidating, and it stayed on the shelf for a few years, and just recently I took it out and I watched a couple of videos on how to use it and set it up, and it's surprisingly simple to get the hang of, so definitely going to be using it more in future projects. Here I'm cutting the grooves for the drawer bottom to fit into the sides and the front. They're about 1/4 inch up and 3/16 inch wide by 3/16 inch deep. And right now I'm laying out some of the bead and cove strip pieces that I had left over from the cedar canoe. This is Spanish cedar, so it's got a really nice aroma to it. And again, I've already cut the bead and cove in here, and it makes things easier when I go to glue it up. These are just a bunch of shorter pieces that I had left over that I didn't want to get rid of. And I just screw down a piece of plywood here, and I'm straightening it out against this level. And that's going to be a backer to press the cedar strips up against, because they are pretty flimsy. They're only 1/4 inch thick about. And I'm applying the glue into the cove, just like I did with the canoe, and everything locks together. And the strips are long enough that I'll be able to get 2 panels out of this, and I'm going to cut those into their sizes, and then I'll glue those panels together, and I'll have one larger panel that'll act as the complete drawer bottom. And here I'm marking my 3/16 inch depth measurement, and I'm going to pull a final measurement from here, which will give me the final dimensions of the drawer bottom. Then I'll trim those 2 panels that I have. I'll trim those to the proper sizes, glue them together, and they'll be ready to go into the drawer. And you might notice that I do a lot of writing on the table surface itself. It's just kind of something that's helpful for me. Instead of a notepad taking up extra real estate on the table surface, I just write things down. It saves on clutter, and I can just quick refer back to it if I need to. And here, just trimming the boards up to final size now that I have the measurements, and ripping it down on the table saw. And now for the glue up, I'm just using simple Type Bond 2. I'm going to brush everything in. And I do actually put a little glue in the groove on the front panel of the drawer so that when you pull the drawer open, everything is still kind of held together. It reduces a lot of the jarring and movement in the drawer when you pull it open to increase the longevity. Right there, I milled these in. You can see that if you watch the build video of the desk, but those were mahogany rails that I glued into the sides, and I fitted them, and so those act as my drawer slides. Tapping everything into place, and then I'm just checking square here. And everything looks good. So I'm going to put the brand on it. And right now I'm just breaking the edges here, softening things up a little bit with the little hand plane. Then I'll hit it with just a little, probably 220 sandpaper. And that's it. It's pretty much finished. Ready to go into the desk. That's Spanish cedar for the drawer bottom, sycamore for the two sides, red oak for the front and back, mahogany rails for the sliders, southern heart pine for the face, and I finished it off with a cherry knob. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos, and don't forget to turn on the notifications for more. Thanks again.